So have you ever made a mistake? Of course you have. And if you think that you haven't made a mistake, you're an utter cunt. Somebody who can't get over their own ego. Making mistakes is part of life. I've made numerous mistakes that have cost me money, cost me my marriage, cost me relationships, cost me fucking status, cost me fucking problems, right? Life is this big process, it's this big journey. You fucking pop out your mum's fanny and you go all the way to the very end where you either get burnt or put in a box. And between those two fucking stages is about learning from our mistakes. Please don't think about your mum's fanny too much. Think about when you are a baby, you make mistakes, you touch something that's fucking hot, like an iron or a log burner. Or you're like me and you get up into a gas cooker and you burn the whole of your leg. Not many people know that. I've got this great big scar from my knee to my foot, which was a burn. And I, as a 2-year-old, got a chair when my dad was outside putting the laundry up. The gas was on for a cup of tea he was going to make. Fucking knocked the kettle off, put my leg on there. He come in, I was on fire. He fucking panicked. Thanks, Dad. But we make mistakes and we learn from them, right? Funnily enough, since that incident, I've never got back in a gas cooker and fucking burnt myself. But in all seriousness, as we go through life, we learn to rectify mistakes that we make. We do it in love when we hit our teens. I'm never going to be with a fucking shitbag like that. I'm never going to be around the fuck face like that. We learn about friends, mistakes that we make with friends. We make mistakes making the wrong friends. We make mistakes taking drugs. We make mistakes drinking too much. Doing fucking crazy shit. You've probably got deep secrets that you made a mistake about that you would never share. I certainly have. There's certainly mistakes that I've made that I would never tell you because you think I'm more of a cunt than I probably already am. But they create the man or the woman, whoever is watching this, that is today. But if you don't rectify those mistakes and you go from that journey from your mum's fanny to that fucking box or that you being burnt, and you just keep going through making mistakes, you're on a collision course with a pretty disastrous life that is going to bring very little happiness or fulfillment. Now it is Friday, it's practically 11 o'clock. Last week I made the slight error of over planning, misplacing my time, highly focused stacking, whatever that fucking means. Highly focused stacking doesn't make sense. I basically fucking did too much, took my eye off the ball, and I had to fucking film day one if I was going to commit to these 28 days at 6:50 at night. And then I had to film it on Sunday, but I'm going to film them both today. And that's a good example of me learning from my mistakes. I'm going to schedule the posts, they're going to be up, and I don't even have to fucking think about it. I've scheduled my emails because I don't want to work over the weekend. I want to be with my family, cuddle up, drinking coffee, playing snakes and ladders, being bored out of my fucking brain doing that, by the way. Keep losing to my 3-year-old. But I want to be part of that environment. Now, I want to talk about making mistakes, but faster. And this is one of the things that being on a program or being in a process creates. I was talking to one of my clients this morning. He works in my top 1% club. That's somebody that invests a lot of money in me to help them become the asset of their life and build their business, build their relationships, build them as a human being. Now, a lot of what that guy pays for is a lot of my experience and mistakes that I've made and the lessons that I've learned from those mistakes, because behind every mistake, there is a lesson. Behind every lesson, there is experience. Behind every experience, there is your next move, your next decision, which is going to ultimately take you further in your growth cycle from mum's fanny to box or being burnt. I bet you don't want me to say your mum's fanny anymore, do you? But in order for us to grow and have this spiral that goes up like this, we've got to learn from our mistakes. And doing that quickly is when you're in a process. So people that invest money with me to come into a process where we deliver the blueprint to showing up, to doing the accountability, to showing up for focus groups, to listen to podcasts, whatever it might be, they are learning quicker. They are making mistakes quicker because they are showing up quicker. If you stall, if you ponder, if you think, if you dwell, that's a mistake in itself. And if you keep doing that in a cycle of chaos, then nothing's going to change for you. You go from being born to being in your fucking box or being burnt. You'll go through your life, you'll get to about 65 and go, fuck, I wasted that one. The cost of regret is fucking huge. And I work with enough men who are now older, in their later stages of life to understand that. And I'm self-aware enough of that to know that we don't have an abundance of time. I don't have fucking time to be worrying about whether I'm going to make a mistake or not. Ultimately, it comes down to making a decision. You make the decision on something, and you're going to either make a mistake or it's going to be a win. Not making a decision in the first place is the fucking mistake. So if you're not making a decision, if you know you need to work on yourself and you're not doing it, then go and book a call in our description box. Quick plug. That's one of the things I'm trying to add to my video. And if you are making decisions and it's not working out the way you want it to, don't be a fucking crybaby about it or have a pity party. Figure out what you're doing wrong, correct it, and then put yourself on the right course, because you're doing the right thing. Just because it's not going the way you want it to go, you're making decisions, you're making mistakes quicker so you can learn faster, so eventually you get it. It's kind of like marketing in a business. You have to test lots of different messages, lots of different audiences, lots of different pictures and copy to make sure you find the right one that works. Mistake, 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 mistake. It's just a case of going from birth to death, going, I'm going to test this, I'm going to test this, I'm going to test this. If that's a mistake, it's a mistake. But then is it a mistake? I don't know if showing up can be considered a mistake. When it comes down to it, I often think that the biggest mistake is doing fuck all. Is actually doing the same thing over and over again. That's when you start falling into a life of existence. You're just existing. You're not living. You're not trying things out. That's the real mistake. And that's what a lot of men and women do. They just stay on that same fucking line, that same trajectory, never really growing, never really learning. So maybe we flipped it. Maybe the mistake is not actually doing anything at all. Maybe the things that you do that maybe are the mistakes are actually just the learning curves that we have to go through in life. I wasn't a very good husband in the first time round, and I fucking hate that I wasn't. Was it a mistake? Yes. But did I show up and own it? Yes. Was it my responsibility? Yes. Does that make me a better husband now? Absolutely. But if I carried on being the same husband I was in my first marriage, in my second marriage, I'll probably be fucking divorced for the second time. So actually, the real win is fucking showing up. The real win is taking action to improve myself, to be a better man, to be a better husband, to be a better father, to be a better business owner, to lead me, basically to lead all of them. Rather than doing nothing about it and staying the same and being just a shit bloke. So in summary, Mum's Fanny, you getting burnt alive or buried, the process is here. If you do nothing, it's a straight line, fucking boring, shit, unfulfilled life. Or you can start failing fast, making mistakes, learning, gaining experience, and learn more about yourself and enjoy the ride. Always remember the mission. Fucking Chad.